today.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm still here, to be honest. I'm super glad y'all are still here, because then maybe someone will laugh at me. I am fully aware that I put off a lot of basic white chick vibes. But I'm sort of offended by that, because I'm actually pretty cool, but I feel if I have to tell you that I'm cool, then I lose some points. The cool factor. I am from the Houston area, which is sort of like Kansas City, because I'm not actually from Houston. But if I tell people I'm from a small town called Seabrook, they're like, where? So if I'm like, I live like down the road from NASA, they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's awesome. You like it there? I'm like, yes. It's awkward. So here it's sort of the same, so I feel like you guys relate. So if I'm like, oh, are you from Kansas City? And they're like, yes. No, I'm from Olathe, or I'm from Lawrence, or I'm from, like, my in-laws are in Shawnee, and I'm visiting with them while I'm here. And, but when I tell people that I'm coming up here, they're like, oh, you're going to Kansas City? That's so cool. It's such a cool city. I'm like, I'm not actually, we'll go to the city, maybe. So we're not in the city. Anyway, so I love that the conversation has been pretty interesting tonight. I'm from, I look pretty basic. Remember, I am married. We've been married for 11 years. Thank you. I feel that in my bones. I'm from a pretty weird background. Like, my family tree is awkward. I have, of the marriages that I have seen as a kid kind of come together and fall apart, there are 6 of them, and they lasted about 7 years cumulatively. So I got a little bit of dysfunction in my background, like a lot of it. My siblings, I am an only child, and I have 9 siblings. Yeah. Explain that to strangers when they're like, oh, you're going to visit your family. I'm like, well, sort of. It's my cousin who's also my sister. That's actually true. It's only awkward whenever they were little and they were like, we'd be out with their mom and they'd be like, Mama Jamie and Mama Karen and Dad. And then that looks really weird. Because anyway, I won't explain it. Y'all just listen, think on it, try to figure it out. Anyway, so needless to say, I come from a lot of weirdness, but my husband is from a really stable background. His parents have been married for 45 years. They're amazing, amazing people. So when my husband and I met, I was like, listen, you don't actually know what you're getting yourself into. Let me lay it out for you. I'm gonna let you know all of the weird Jerry Springer stuff you're coming into. And my husband, I laid it all out. I'm like, this guy is not coming back around. But he did. We've been together for a while, and he's still here. We have 5 kids together, so the guy who, yes. Okay, thank you. So we're talking about, Gabe came up and was like, we can only do 40% of the work. I'm like, listen, we do much more than 40% of the work. And I have 5 beautiful photocopies of my husband to prove it. So when we were dating, we would go to coffee shops and we would play chess. It was really sweet and cute. We'd have these conversations because I'm like, listen, if we're going to be together for a while, I need you to kind of understand the weirdness that I have happening here. And he's like, we're talking about insecurities, and my husband is being well-meaning, and he's like, listen, I really wanted him to say something like, God will never have eyes for anyone but you, babe. I'm like 20 at the time and naive. And he's like, well, there will always be someone more attractive. And I'm like, cool. So where do we go from here? Marriage, that's what we went to. It was good. It's been good. And I'm always really excited. So I mentioned earlier my parents, it's always awkward saying that. All of them together were married about 7 years. And so every time we hit 7 years, past when we hit 7 years, I was so amped up. I'm like, babe, we've been married for 7 years. And my husband's like, what the heck are you talking about? 7, like 10, I get it. 7, less. But I'm so amped up, like, did you know that 6 different, well, it was kind of 5 because one of them, there was the same guy, but 7 years was what I saw not work super hot. And we're over here like, we like each other, and we obviously like each other because there's 5 ducks that follow me into Target. Anyway, so I wanted to share just real quick, and then I'm gonna get off. My husband is a real big introvert, and I'm obviously not because I'm here, and I was just coming here to watch, and then here I am. But I will go out places, and we'll have like really crazy interactions. I mentioned I sort of have basic white chick vibes, but that is not who I am. I was up in this fight one time. Okay, just wait for it. I was in this fight, and actually it was a fight with my sister, but it was like a huge thing. My sister was fighting with some chick that was in her apartment, and there was like all this commotion, and people are, there's like stuff, I don't even know. It was intense. Well, in the moment where like all of a sudden it gets quiet, and this guy steps out and he's like, Amanda, is that you? And I'm like, you have dreadlocks. I'm not sure. You sort of look familiar, but you know my name. So yeah, that's me. What's up? But like the whole room has gotten quiet. We were just like my sister has bruises all over her face. This chick is bloody. I thought we were angry, and this guy's like, man, we went to middle school together. But like the weirdest stuff like that happens to me all the time. I walked in here tonight, and the same thing sort of happened. A guy came up with the visor, and he's like, hey man, you look real familiar. Do we know each other? I'm like, I drove 14 hours. I don't know you. But I just have a friendly face, apparently. So if you want to be my friend leader, hey. Y'all have a good night.